Hey guys, it's Dave from Chasing Lana. We have a new single out Friday, November 25th called Breaking Free. Hope you dig it.
Beautiful, Dave. Thanks for joining us today, brother.
Thank you very much for having me, man.
My
Appreciate
pleasure,
it.
mate. So, as you mentioned, Chasing Lana are preparing to unleash your new single, Breaking Free, this Friday, November 25th. So, firstly, man, tell us a bit about the song from a musical point of view and what you're going for with it.
It's a lot different than what we usually release. I mean, we changed producers, working with the dude Zach Knight from Earthtide Studios. Just wanted to get like a something different, so we thought we'd just try out just one track with him, and the whole experience was just yeah, it was mind blowing. It was a lot different than what we're used to, and I feel like that's what we really needed. So um, no, it was good, man. I can't wait for everyone to hear it. It's definitely different. It's different Lana sound than what everyone's going to be used to. That's for sure.
And it's first new music for a bit of time, bro. So, like, did you feel in a way that you needed to make a statement sort of thing with this song?
Yeah, man. So it's fuck, it's been like 3 years. Yeah, almost 3 years since we've actually released anything. We released The Fight in 2019 and did a bunch of shows, tours with all that. And yeah, just because the whole COVID thing, we kind of just, like everyone, got into a bubble and just kind of just did nothing. But I wrote a few songs, but nothing too much to actually do anything. It was just really hard to motivate everyone in the band, including myself as well. So once all that kind of died down and everything started to reopen, it was time to do something and do something fresh, you know. So yeah.
And the title Breaking Free could be referencing any number of things in the modern music world, but is it about anything specific or is it more of a generalization?
I kind of wrote the lyrics kind of in the sense of, trying to break free from the negativity, what's going on in the world, and like the pandemic, and people that are going through mentally not so well, depression and everything, just wanting everyone just to try and break free from that, you know what I mean? And you know life is pretty tough at sometimes, but it's not too bad, look at the bright side of life, so yeah, it's kind of just breaking free of all the negativity, what's going on in the world.
Yeah, cool. And is it a standalone single, bro, or is it part of a bigger album or EP picture?
Well, we don't know yet, man. We don't know at the moment. It's just a standalone, but I'm keen to hit the studio again in the next month or two, and it's the thing with the bands now, man. It's like not a lot of people are releasing records. So I think we'll continue to make music and release some singles, and who knows, we might make another full length record pretty soon. Yeah.
You raise an interesting point there, bro. Like, people aren't releasing records as much anymore because I think people's attention spans are getting smaller and smaller these days. So people, like, no matter how good a record is, you're pretty much wasting your time putting 10 or 12 songs on there because people just aren't going to listen to it.
Nah, that's right, man. I mean, I was reading this thing of Clown from Slipknot. He's like, oh, I'm pretty sure that that was their last Slipknot record for a very long time,
I
because
read
like,
that too, yeah.
yeah, like what you said, I mean, it's all the music industry's changed, man. With all this streaming, Spotify and Apple Music, you're right. People can't really sit down and listen to a full length record anymore, the 10, 12, 14 tracks that they just don't have the attention span to do that anymore. They just want to get out their phone, chuck a song on their playlist, and then push play, and that's it. So I think it's probably smarter now for bands to kind of just drop a track every few months so they can get the streams up, really. You
Yeah,
know, Ronnie from Falling in Reverse, man, he seems to be he's got the right idea, man. Just dropping a track every few months and a film clip and just promote the shit out of it.
it's sort of like a catch-22, isn't it? Because like we say, the people haven't got the attention spans to listen to a whole album. But on the flip side of that, there's so many new bands coming out daily that if you're not putting out some form of constant content, you sort of, like, no matter how good you are or how big your fan base is, you just fall behind because there's so many bands competing for that one slice of the market. So it's finding that balance between putting out too much and putting out not enough.
That's right. Yeah, people are. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, everyone's. You kind of getting forgotten about, aren't you? Really, if you're not releasing any music. I mean, we've been a band now for oh, 10 years or so, and we've got a demo and an EP and an album, and if we didn't have anything in the full 3 years of the pandemic, so I don't know if people kind of forgot about us or um just kind of lost interest in wanting to go out and do all those just little things that we take for granted, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one, eh? And you mentioned that Breaking Free is a little bit different to what people would expect from Chasing Lana. So is that just like a one-off experimentation, a bit different, or do you think that's a direction you're going to keep pursuing?
I'm hoping it's the direction we're going for now. It's got the catchy chorus, big riffs, but it's a bit heavier than what we've usually done previously. Especially vocally.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, vocally it's the heaviest thing I've done anyway. Yeah. Basically I'm just screaming throughout the whole song.
And how did you go with that then, bro? Like you mentioned it's the heaviest vocally that you've actually been. Like, did you find that difficult? Did you have to sort of tap into a different part of your musical self, I guess, to be able to do that?
Yeah, definitely for myself. I mean, I'm not really used to screaming 100% of the song. I mean, live, I tend to kind of just scream a little bit, but yeah, in the studio, I really got out of my comfort zone here and really just pushed myself to try something. And that was the thing. We wanted to try something different with not just lyrically, but musically and just everything really in general throughout the whole song. So it was a little bit challenging for myself, but that's what I really wanted to do, to challenge myself and for the boys as well. I know that they got out of their comfort zone as well. So yeah, I can't wait for everyone to hear it, man. It's different, but I'm hoping everyone still digs it.
I think it's actually important to point out to you too, mate. Like it is different to what people would expect from you, but it's not so different that existing fans of the band are going to listen to it and just go, "What the fuck is he doing?" You know, like it's still got more Chasing Lana there. So if you like the old stuff, you're definitely going to like Breaking Free.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. It's still Lana, still very much Lana, and yeah.
Very cool. And you guys recently played a show at Frankie's too, mate. Like that would have been a bit of a bittersweet moment, wouldn't it?
It was awesome, man. We always love playing Frankie's. I mean, spoke to my manager in the States a few weeks back, and I said to him, like, I've heard Frankie's is closing down. This is a huge deal. We really need to play it before the year's up. I think they're going to be closed in early December or mid-December. So I said, you got to get us in there, man. It's one of those venues that every Australian band needs to play, and we've been lucky enough to play it a couple of times. But yeah, we got in, played it, and it was surreal, man. It was awesome. It's a good venue.
It's almost criminal what the government do, or like taking it off them just to build a train station. You know, it's like what the fuck? Like it's you could get into it for hours, but it's just wrong, man. Like that place, I've said for my whole life, like if someone opens a live music bar and they never charge anyone to get in, it's going to be a winner. You know, people always say, yeah, but how are they going to make money? It's like people drink. If they're not paying their $20 at the door, they're going to spend it on the bar, and it's just the way they've done it. It's just brilliant.
That's right. I mean, it's like you said, free entry. I mean, it was kind of like old Cherry Bar, like free entry, but yeah, you don't get money at the door. But like you said, everyone that goes in there drinks, and they're gonna drink a lot.
Okay.
And yeah, when we played, we got on stage around 10 o'clock because I know they got a lot of rules, the midnight kind of closing times and stuff. So we went on pretty early for us. We got on at 10 o'clock, and by then it was absolutely packed and everyone was just loving it. It was awesome. It's one of those vibes, man. It's just like I'm hoping that the owner's going to relocate or open up something very similar, but it's a shame, man.
It is, yeah. Well, I've heard on the grapevine, it's nothing official, but they definitely are looking at somewhere else, but they're not going to call it Frankie's, or they're going to let the name Frankie's die where it is, which I think is a great idea. Like if they call the next place Frankie's, people are going to have that expectation when they walk into it, and it's that stigma is going to be around it. So from what I've heard, they're gonna let it die a beautiful death, but they're going to fire up again somewhere else under a new name with the same sort of principles, which is great for Australian music.
Yeah, well, I hope they do, man. I mean, Sydney, I don't know if you've been to Sydney, but it's pretty, every band, they kind of struggle with Sydney, man, because if you can't really get into Frankie's Pizza, there's not a lot of venues to actually play at. It's a few, like, when we first started, we trying out Sydney, it was a hit and miss. One time it would be really good, second time not so good, blah blah blah. But once you got that momentum and you got the crowds and you kept going to Frankie's, they kept coming back. They kept coming back to see us. So, and we appreciate that. We love all our fans and all that. So I'm really hoping that Sydney will pull their finger out and hopefully open up a new and improved Frankie's, I guess. Yeah.
Damn straight, my friend. You recently returned, as you mentioned, from an overseas trip to the States, where, if you believe everything you see on Facebook, you caught up with fellow Aussie muso and manager Mark Delbeth to discuss plans for next year. So what were those discussions, mate? What did you talk about?
Sneaky. Yeah, well, the plan is to go over there, hopefully sooner than later. I mean, he's been living there for a few years now. But it was good. I mean, he took us around, he took us to the whiskey and the Viper Room, and we had like a little meeting at the Rainbow, which was really cool. But yeah, to play those venues would just be a dream come true for all of us really in the band. So fingers crossed, hopefully next year we can make something happen.
Very cool. And Mark's killing it over there at the moment, mate. Like, Rav Medic's put their album out. It's great stuff. He's playing with Chloe Trujillo. So is there any talk of him bringing his either band over here in the future? Like, it'd be a triumphant homecoming for him. He deserves it. He's a good man.
Yeah, I think so, man. I mean, we did talk about that, and I'm hoping that we can tee up a Rav Medic and Lana thing around the country next year as well. That'll be really cool.
Oh, yeah.
He knows a lot of people, man. He knows a lot of people.
He does. Yeah, I've been talking to him for about 5 years, and I've never actually met the guy. So it'd be good to sit down and have a beer with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, he's a great bloke. Great bloke.
Damn straight. So with you guys, mate, like, you've got your single coming out, Breaking Free, but what else have you got planned? You got any shows coming up or anything?
Well, we just finished this little tour, you would call it. But we haven't got anything show-wise locked in just yet. But we'll be promoting it one way or the other. It'll be everywhere online, and there will be shows. There will be shows.
Yeah, very cool, brother. All right, mate. Well, Breaking Free is out this Friday, November the 25th, and I say I've been lucky enough to have a sneak listen to it, and I really like it, mate. Like I said, it is a little bit different, but it's got a harder edge to it. It's a lot ballsier than some of the stuff. So yeah, I really like it, mate. I'm digging the new direction. So hopefully that continues in the future.
Thank you very much, man. Kind words.